Jack Harlow jerked awake as his mining vessel shook violently. Warning lights flashed red across the cabin. The ship's computer blared through the speakers. Unknown vessels approaching. Hostile intent detected. He stumbled to the control panel, still groggy from sleep. The radar showed 3 ships closing in fast. They weren't human designs. Their hulls were sleek and predatory, nothing like the bulky mining vessels humans used. Computer evasive maneuvers. Jack shouted, strapping himself into the pilot's seat. The mining vessel groaned as it tried to turn. It wasn't built for speed or combat. Jack knew he was in trouble. He was just a miner, not a soldier. His ship carried valuable ore, but nothing worth attacking for. Another blast rocked the ship. Sparks flew from a nearby console. Hull breach in Cargo Bay 3, the computer announced. Jack grabbed his emergency kit and a mining laser. It wasn't much of a weapon, but it was better than nothing. He moved quickly through the narrow corridors toward the cargo bay. Whatever these aliens wanted, he needed to know. The cargo bay doors were damaged, barely opening enough for him to squeeze through. Inside, he found something he never expected. An escape pod, damaged and smoking, had crashed through his ship's hull. The pod's design was alien, covered in strange symbols. Jack approached cautiously. The pod's door slid open with a hiss. Inside were 7 small figures huddled together. Children, alien children. Each one looked different from the others. Different species, different colors, different numbers of limbs. But they all shared the same terrified expression. One of them, with blue skin and large eyes, spoke in broken English. "Help, please. They kill us." Jack's heart raced. Who's trying to kill you? Before the child could answer, the ship shook again. A new alarm sounded. Boarding detected in Docking Bay 1, the computer warned. Jack made a quick decision. Come with me. Stay quiet. The alien children followed him, moving silently despite their fear. Jack led them to a maintenance shaft, a tight space where they could hide. Stay here, he whispered. I'll be back. Jack moved toward the docking bay, his mining laser ready. He heard heavy footsteps and harsh voices speaking an alien language. He peered around a corner and saw them, tall, reptilian creatures in armor, carrying weapons far more advanced than his laser. Vraxians. He'd heard stories about them from other miners, none of them good. One Vraxian held up a device that beeped faster as it pointed down the corridor, toward the maintenance shaft where the children were hiding. The Nulls are here, the Vraxian said in accented English. Find them. Kill anyone who interferes. Jack ducked back, mind racing. Nulls? Was that what the children were called? He had seconds to decide what to do. These aliens had attacked his ship, damaged his livelihood, and now they wanted to harm children. He activated the emergency protocols on his wrist computer, sending a distress signal to Earth. Then he adjusted his mining laser to maximum power. It would overheat quickly, but he only needed a few good shots. Jack stepped out and fired. The laser cut through the first Vraxian's armor. The others turned, weapons raised. Jack dove behind a cargo container as energy blasts scorched the wall behind him. He had to get back to the children. They were his responsibility now, though he didn't understand why. All he knew was that he couldn't let these creatures take them. As Jack prepared to make his move, the ship's lights flickered. Through the viewport, he saw a massive warship appear, dwarfing the other alien vessels. His blood ran cold. From the maintenance shaft, the blue-skinned child appeared beside him, eyes wide with terror. They'll kill anyone who helps us, the child whispered. You should have left us to die. Jack pulled the blue-skinned child down as energy blasts tore through the air above them. We need to move, he said, checking his laser's power level. It was already overheating. Can you get back to the others? The child nodded and slipped away with surprising speed. Jack fired 2 more shots, buying them time. He had to reach the emergency shuttle bay on the lower deck. His wrist computer beeped. Someone had received his distress call. "This is Earth Defense Force Cruiser Valiant," a voice crackled through. "We have received your distress signal. Hold position." "Negative," Jack replied. "I've got 7 civilian refugees. Vraxian hunters are boarding. We need immediate extraction." There was a pause. "Did you say Vraxians?" "Stand by." Jack didn't have time to stand by. He made his way back to the maintenance shaft, where the children waited. "We're leaving," he told them. "Stay close." The smallest child, with scaled skin and 4 arms, looked up at him. "They will follow us everywhere." "Let them try," Jack said, more confident than he felt. They moved through the ship's corridors, avoiding the Vraxian search parties. Jack noticed something strange. Each child seemed to sense the hunters before they appeared. The red-skinned one with antenna would freeze seconds before footsteps rounded a corner. The one with crystalline skin could somehow pass through solid walls, scouting ahead. These weren't ordinary children. They reached the shuttle bay, just as the ship rocked with another explosion. 3 Vraxians spotted them and opened fire. Jack pushed the children behind a stack of cargo containers. "Stay down," he shouted, returning fire with his nearly dead laser. Suddenly, the bay doors exploded inward. A small, sleek Earth military shuttle burst through, guns blazing. The Vraxians scattered. A man in Earth Defense Force armor jumped out, firing precision shots. "Captain Frank Reeves," he shouted to Jack. "Get those kids on board now." Jack didn't argue. He rushed the children toward the shuttle, as Reeves provided cover fire. "Command didn't authorize this rescue," Reeves said as they boarded. "But I don't leave humans hanging." "They're not human," Jack said, securing the children in seats. Reeves glanced at the alien children, then back at Jack. "Neither are those bastards trying to kill you." "That's good enough for me." The shuttle blasted away from Jack's dying mining vessel. Through the viewport, they watched as the Vraxian warship fired, tearing the mining ship apart. "What did you do to piss them off?" Reeves asked, piloting the shuttle at maximum speed. "I found these kids in an escape pod. They called them gnolls." The blue-skinned child spoke up. "We are mistakes. Unwanted by our people. Each of us has something wrong," added another with glowing eyes. "Abilities that scare them." Reeves received an urgent communication. His face darkened as he listened. "Earth Command is not happy," he told Jack. "The Vraxians have sent an official message. They're demanding we return what they call genetic abominations, or face consequences." "They're just kids," Jack said. "To us, maybe." Reeves pointed to the radar. But look, 6 more ships had appeared, each with different designs. Jack recognized some from news reports. The Krell Dominion, the Tauran Collective, species that rarely agreed on anything. "That's not just the Vraxians anymore," Reeves said grimly. "That's a coalition. 6 different alien empires, all coming for these kids." The oldest child, with skin that shifted colors like a chameleon, moved beside Jack. "Now you see," the child said quietly. "No one wants us. No one except you. And that will cost your people everything." 3 months passed since Jack rescued the Null children. Earth had become a sanctuary not just for the original 7, but for dozens more, found drifting in space or rescued from research facilities. The alien coalition had responded with harsh economic sanctions, cutting off vital trade routes. Jack walked through the underground facility built specifically to house and study the gnolls. Scientists worked alongside the children, learning about their unique abilities. "Jack," a familiar blue-skinned child named Zix ran up to him. "Watch this." Zix placed his hands on a dead computer terminal. The screen flickered to life, code scrolling faster than human eyes could follow. The terminal wasn't just working again. It was operating better than its original design. "That's amazing," Jack said, genuinely impressed. Dr. Elaine Porter approached, tablet in hand. "Zix can interface directly with our technology. He doesn't just repair it, He improves it. And the others? Jack asked. Each one has different abilities. Krell can manipulate gravity. Vanna can see possible futures. Trix can generate energy fields. She lowered her voice. General Harris wants to weaponize these abilities. Jack frowned. They're children, not weapons. I know, but the coalition is strangling us. Food shipments are down 60%. Medical supplies are running out. She showed him her tablet. Look at these scans. When Nulls use their abilities near humans, something happens to our brainwaves. It's like they're changing us somehow. An alarm blared through the facility. Red lights flashed in the corridors. What's happening? Jack asked, instantly alert. Captain Reeves' voice came over the speakers. All personnel to battle stations. Orbital defense satellites have detected coalition ships entering the system. Jack ran to the command center, Zix following close behind. The main screen showed dozens of alien ships approaching Earth. General Harris stood at the center console, face grim. They've bypassed our outer defenses. This isn't just a show of force anymore. Sir, a communications officer called out. We're receiving reports of attacks on the Mars colony. The room fell silent. Mars was a civilian outpost with minimal defenses. Casualties? Harris asked. Unknown. Communications are being jammed. Jack felt a tug on his sleeve. Zix was staring at him with those large, knowing eyes. They won't stop, the child said. Not until they have all of us. Why are you so important to them? Jack asked. What aren't you telling us? Before Zix could answer, the facility shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Direct hit on the surface, someone shouted. They've found us. Harris turned to Jack. Get the Nulls to the secure bunker. Now. Jack led Zix through the chaos as personnel rushed to defensive positions. They gathered the other Nulls along the way. The children seemed oddly calm amid the panic. As they reached the bunker entrance, Jack spotted a security officer speaking quietly into a hidden communicator. The man's eyes darted nervously when he saw Jack. Everyone inside, Jack ordered, keeping his eye on the suspicious officer. Once the children were safe, Jack confronted the man. Who were you talking to? The officer drew his weapon. Step aside, Harlow. Those things aren't worth dying for. Those things are children, Jack said, tensing for a fight. They're the reason we're under attack. The officer's hand shook. The coalition promised to spare Earth if we hand them over. I'm just trying to save our species. Another explosion rocked the facility, closer this time. Alarms wailed as emergency lights bathed the corridor in red. The officer glanced up at the ceiling. Jack used the distraction to lunge forward, knocking the weapon away. They struggled, crashing into the wall. The officer was military trained, but Jack fought with desperate intensity. Behind them, the bunker door opened. The oldest Null child, Vanna, stepped out. Her skin shifted colors as she watched the fight. Enough, she said, her voice carrying strange power. Both men froze. Vanna walked toward them, her eyes fixed on the traitor. You protected us when no one would, she said to Jack. Then she turned to the officer, her expression hardening. Now we'll protect you. The ground shook again as coalition forces bombarded the surface. But this time, Vanna smiled. They're too late, she said. We've already begun. The sky above Earth burned with weapons fire. Coalition ships formed a blockade around the planet, while Earth as defense forces fought back with everything they had. It wasn't enough. Jack stood in the war room with General Harris, watching the battle unfold on the main screen. The traitor had been locked away, but his actions had revealed a growing fear among some humans. We need to deploy the special units, Harris said, his face hard with determination. Jack knew what that meant. Over the past weeks, human soldiers had been paired with Null children. Each pair trained to use the Null's abilities in combat. Jack had opposed it at first, but the Nulls themselves had insisted on helping. They're ready, Jack said. But I'm going with them. Harris nodded. You lead the first team. Get to the launch bay. Jack found his team waiting. 6 soldiers and 6 nulls, including Zix. They wore matching combat suits designed to enhance their connection. Remember the plan, Jack told them as they boarded the assault shuttle. We target the Vraxian command ship. Our goal is their research data, not just destruction. The shuttle launched, joining a squadron of Earth fighters. Through the viewport, Jack saw the true scale of the battle. Hundreds of ships clashed in Earth's orbit, energy weapons cutting bright lines through the darkness. Incoming! The pilot shouted. The shuttle rolled sharply, avoiding enemy fire. 2 Earth fighters weren't so lucky, exploding in silent bursts of light. Zix placed his hand on Jack's arm. I can help. The child closed his eyes, connecting to the shuttle systems. Suddenly, their shields strengthened and engines pushed beyond their design limits. They broke through the enemy line, racing toward the massive Vraxian command ship. Other Earth vessels created a diversion, drawing fire away from them. 30 seconds to boarding, the pilot announced. Jack checked his weapon. Remember, we need to find out why they fear the Nulls so much. The shuttle crashed into the Vraxian ship's docking bay, the impact throwing everyone forward. Jack was first on his feet, leading the charge out into enemy territory. Vraxian soldiers responded immediately. Energy blasts filled the air. Jack's team took cover, returning fire. The human-Null pairs worked in perfect sync when a Vraxian soldier used a gravity weapon to pin down 2 humans. Krell countered it, allowing the soldiers to advance. They fought their way to the central research lab. Jack hacked the door while his team held off enemy reinforcements. We're in, he shouted as the door slid open. Inside, they found what they were looking for. Stasis pods lined the walls, each containing a Null child being experimented on. Screens displayed data in the Vraxian language. Zix rushed to a terminal, connecting to it. His eyes widened. Jack, I found it. The truth. Images flashed across the screens. Genetic sequences, brain scans, evolutionary charts. We are not mistakes, Zix said, his voice trembling. We are the next step. Each of our species is evolving, and we are the first. They fear us because we represent change they cannot control. A massive explosion rocked the ship. Emergency alarms blared. They're scuttling the vessel, Jack shouted. Everyone back to the shuttle. They freed the captive Nulls, fighting their way back through corridors now filling with smoke. The Vraxians were willing to destroy their own ship rather than let the humans escape with their secrets. As they reached the docking bay, a Vraxian commander appeared with elite guards. They opened fire, separating Jack from the others. Go, Jack ordered his team. Get the Nulls to safety. He provided covering fire as the shuttle launched. The Vraxian commander approached, weapon aimed at Jack's heart. You don't understand what you're protecting, the alien hissed. Those abominations will change everything. That's what you're afraid of, isn't it? Jack replied, backing toward an escape pod. Change. The commander fired. Jack dove into the pod, launching it as the Vraxian ship began to break apart. As his pod tumbled through space, Jack watched Earth's forces rallying, pushing back against the coalition. Something was happening. The Nulls on Earth had combined their abilities, creating a shield around the planet that the coalition weapons couldn't penetrate. Then Jack felt it, a strange tingling in his mind, a new awareness. He wasn't alone in the pod. Looking at his reflection in the metal wall, he saw his eyes glowing with the same light as the Nulls. What's happening to me? He whispered as the realization hit him. The Nulls weren't just changing themselves. They were changing humans too. Jack's escape pod was picked up by an Earth rescue ship 3 days after the battle. The war had changed while he drifted in space. Earth forces had pushed back the coalition using technology no one had seen before. Hybrid systems created by humans working with Nulls. When Jack stepped off the rescue ship, Zix was waiting for him. The blue-skinned child looked different now, more confident, standing taller. "Your eyes," Zix said, staring at Jack's face. "It's happening to you too." Jack nodded. "What exactly is happening to me?" "To all of us. Evolution," Zix replied. "Come, the others are waiting." They traveled to a new facility built into a mountain. Inside, humans and nulls worked side by side. Some humans now showed signs of change. Glowing eyes, enhanced reflexes, new abilities emerging. General Harris met them in the command center. A holographic display showed the Coalition forces retreating from Earth's solar system. "We've pushed them back," Harris said, "but they'll regroup. We need to end this war before more people die." "I know how," Jack said. "We take the fight to them." To the Vraxian homeworld. The room fell silent. "That's suicide," someone said. "Not with what I learned on their ship," Jack replied. "And not with what I can do now." He raised his hand. Energy crackled between his fingers, the same energy the nulls could generate. The connection with Zix had changed him. "The Vraxians are hiding the truth from the other species," Jack continued. "If we can broadcast what we've learned to all Coalition worlds, the Alliance will fracture." Vanna, the oldest null, stepped forward. "We will help. All of us." The plan came together quickly. A small strike force would infiltrate the Vraxian capital, while Earth forces engaged their fleet as a distraction. Jack would lead the ground team, with the original 7 nulls accompanying him. The mission launched a week later. Their ship, enhanced with null technology, slipped past the Vraxian defenses, using cloaking systems no human engineer could have designed alone. They landed in the outskirts of the capital city. Jack led his team through streets filled with Vraxians going about their daily lives, civilians who knew nothing about the war their leaders had started. "The broadcast center is 2 kilometers ahead," Zix said, interfacing with the city's network. They moved quickly, avoiding patrols. When they encountered resistance, the combined abilities of humans and nulls overwhelmed the Vraxian soldiers. At the broadcast center, they fought their way to the main transmission room. Zix connected to the systems, while the others defended their position. "I'm in," Zix announced, ready to broadcast to all Coalition worlds. Alarms blared throughout the building. Elite Vraxian guards broke through the barricade, weapons firing. One blast hit Krell, the youngest null. The child fell. "No!" Jack shouted, rushing to protect the fallen child. A Vraxian commander aimed directly at Jack's head. There was no time to dodge. Jack threw himself over Krell, ready to die protecting the child. The blast never came. All 7 nulls, including the injured Krell, had created a shield around Jack. Their combined power pushed back against the Vraxians, forcing them to retreat. "The broadcast is live," Zix said. "Everyone can see the truth now." On screens throughout the capital, throughout all Coalition worlds, the evidence played. The nulls weren't mistakes or abominations. They were the natural next step in evolution for all species. The Vraxian experiments, their fear, their lies, all exposed. Coalition ships began standing down. Some even turned against the Vraxian fleet. The war was ending not with destruction, but with understanding. 1 year later, Jack stood on a platform at the new galactic embassy on Earth. Beside him were the original 7 nulls, now recognized as ambassadors. Representatives from all Coalition species had come to sign a peace treaty. "They threw you away," Jack said quietly to Zix. "No one wanted you." Zix smiled. "Until humanity did. And now look, we're changing the galaxy together." As Jack watched the former enemies shake hands, he realized the nulls had given humanity its greatest gift, not just new abilities or technology, but a new place in the universe. By accepting those no one else wanted, humans had become the bridge between all species. "Evolution," Jack said, his eyes glowing with the same light as his null friends, "comes through embracing difference, not destroying it."